and working on utilities, Mark Hilliard, that's not a bad thing.
There's a lot of infrastructure work going on around town. Yeah.
From a Chamber of Commerce perspective, it has to be good. It has to be. All right, our conversation with Mark Hilliard brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Mark, you and I haven't talked about what it is that we'll be discussing today. But just to make this note, we've got some wonderful long-term business folks who have been working their fannies off for a lot of years to make a good living and to make things nice for folks here in Indiana County. And now we have a brand new hardware in downtown Indiana, which is spectacular.
Yes.
We have Dunham Sports at the Indiana Mall, which I was in it yesterday. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, things are starting to look up.
They are, yeah. And, what was encouraging for me is I walked through both stores, and I was in the Ace a couple of weeks ago, and it was in Dunham's on Friday, and I heard a lot of the same comments from people in both stores. They're like, wow, I can't believe this is here. And it's not just one or two people. You heard it kind of echoing throughout the store, and both of them are just incredible. The Ace hardware here is perfect. I know that they had looked at a number of different locations before it ended up being here in the downtown area. And as I talked to the Kinters, I said that this is the perfect location. You couldn't have planned this better had you moved anywhere else. And they agreed. And when you're looking at the Dunham Sports and that how massive that store is, you walk in there and you can't believe that used to be the Bon-Ton. It's amazing, and there are things that I think are going to help to keep people here shopping. I said this on Friday a little bit that it's going to help people like me, whether you're looking parents like me when I'm looking for kids sports equipment. I don't have to leave the county. I can keep my dollars here, and like you said though. There's a lot of work that went into both of those, a lot of time. People don't know how much behind the scenes and how many years both of those projects were in the making, and it's amazing when you see them now, though. But I think there's a lot more good things on the horizon, but those are still two great projects. And if you haven't been to either of those stores, please go and do so. And the Ace with the parking on the side of the street as well it's pretty spectacular. That's
pretty handy. In fact, I was there twice on Saturday. For a second time, I had to go back because I forgot something. But when they're bright and they're clean and the people are really excited to work there, that's the way it is right now. That'll only help those other businesses that have been there for a while.
That's right.
The other anchor stores at the mall, the smaller retailers that are within the body of the mall. Everybody's helped by everybody else, and that can be a real juggernaut there.
Well, I think that's a very important anchor because it does have mall access, which a lot of people didn't realize. But I think that's going to be a big help for the rest of the mall. And I do think that a store that size, and that's Sherry Renowski referred to it as a super Dunham's. But it's bigger than most of the other Dunhams in the region. So it is going to be something that could be a destination for people to come to Indiana. And while they're there and they stop at Dunham's, that's where we hope they'll be able to stop and walk through the mall a little bit and support some of the other businesses there, and then maybe see what else is here. So it could have a trickle-down effect. At least we hope so, because of the fact that how massive that store is. So it is very positive.
So positive news on the retail sector. We had some good restaurant news last week, and hoping that those restaurant projects develop as well. Of course, you're also talking about manufacturing, industry, those sorts of things. We need it all to complete the formula, make the circle complete, don't we?
Yeah, and we had some news recently on the agriculture front with the new biodigester, that Air Liquide that's going into Homer City. So that's pretty exciting as well, and that's been a project long in the making as well that'll basically take cow manure and turn it into
gold,
something usable. So, but it's exciting, I think, for this area to have something unique like that, and those are the types of projects that we want to continue to bring here to Indiana County. We're always looking for those stores, retail, and those restaurants, and that's what people always ask about. But we're really looking for those places that can create family-sustaining jobs and can really make an economic impact here in the county too. So. There's a lot of those types of projects that are in the works, and people don't know how much work goes on behind the scenes, and when we get asked about it, certainly we'd like to tell more than we could, but there's just so many moving parts before we can announce anything because we just nothing's ever finalized until it's finalized.
Senator Joe Pittman was here last week talking about the Homer City Generating Station site, and he touted the fact that one thing that people need to realize with that power plant is it's hooked into the grid now. Which can be a tremendous advantage if we can get somebody to come in and take a look at that plant and say, you're hooked in now. So that part of that whole system is already taken care of. Now the idea is let's get somebody in there.
Yeah, that certainly makes it very attractive. And I think that Senator Pittman and Representative Struzzi, they're working very, very hard on finding somewhere to go into that plant and talking with the owners of the power plant and a lot of the people at the state level to try to figure out ways to make that happen. So I know a lot of conversations are taking place. From what I've heard, I've said this before, but I don't think the story's over for that property. I think that we're going to see something go in there, and I think it's going to make a positive impact. It's hard to say if something can replace what the Homer City Generating Station was, because it was such an economic driver for years for the area, especially for the Homer City area. That's where I grew up. My dad worked at that power plant. But, I think that, with the people we have in place, we can find ways to, create some other business that will be there that can create a similar impact or at least come close to that. It wasn't over the past few years what it had been, but it still represented a lot of jobs and a lot of indirect jobs throughout the county. And those are the types of companies that we're looking to come there that can help, give us that economic boost that we need.
Yeah, and you wonder about the viability, therefore, of the Keystone Generating Station, about the power plants in Seward and Huff, and all of those things are very, very key parts of Indiana County, the traditional economy.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a new economy in Indiana County as well, and we look forward to watching the developments come up. From a Chamber of Commerce perspective, what's up? Because you guys always have something busy going on.
Well, we're working on a few different things. We have a few business after hours. We had a great one last week at the Historical Society, which was great. They have a circus exhibit over there that if you haven't seen, I'd recommend going over and checking it out. It's very, very neat, very interesting. And every time I go over there, I see things that I haven't seen before and learn stuff about the county that I haven't learned in the past. But we have a couple coming up in August. I believe August 10th we have a after hours at Spaghetti Benders that is kind of a kickoff to the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival, which that won't take place into September, but this is sort of our kickoff for that at Spaghetti Benders. And then I believe on August 24th we have another one at First Commonwealth Bank, which they usually do a great job having it right out in front of the old courthouse building. So we're looking forward to that. We're also working on something that we'll be looking at doing in September that we're trying to create sort of a business roundtable where we bring any business that wants to come into the same room and be able to talk about what some of the challenges are. We had discussed trying to put out a survey or something like that to gauge what some of the issues that matter to businesses in the county are, and we thought, well, why don't we just ask them in person? So we're starting to work on developing that and seeing if we can find somebody to moderate that. But we really are interested, whether they're chamber members or not, to have everybody come into the room and discuss what are their challenges, what are the issues that are impacting their business, and find ways that we can make a difference. That's kind of our opportunity to listen as opposed to taking any actions right away. So we're working on that for September. We don't have any more details in place, but that's something that's in the early stages.
One of your great crowning achievements in this past year has been the Excellence in Education program. Are we going to be able to keep that going in the next year?
Yes, as long as CJ's Spatafor is still willing to donate the cars, which he said he is. But yeah, we had planned on that being an ongoing thing. So that's going to be an annual event. We loved the way it went this year. We found ways that we're going to try to make it a little bit better next year. So we've already discussed some of those plans. But yeah, that's going to be something we're going to do again this year and continue doing it as long as Colonial is willing to be a partner with us. And we have a lot more ideas on how to make that even better for all of the kids, not just those that win the car, although it's great for them and for the teacher as well. But we have some different things we're going to try next year. in other ways, we're going to try to make the process a little bit easier for my office too, because
Sure.
that's a large undertaking to work with the schools on a monthly basis to try to get all that information. But it worked out so well, and we love the end result that we're going to continue to do it.
Yeah. Well, after a first year of any program, you tweak it, you see what worked and what might work better, and then move forward from there.
We're excited. We love working with the schools. That was one of the things. Yesterday, I attended a reception for one of the prospective deans for the College of Osteopathic Medicine over at IUP, and that was the one thing I was talking about is ways that they can see them be partnering with the schools to sort of create that interest in healthcare and maybe create more of a feeder system up through the school. But I don't want to get off track there. That's a whole other topic. But I think there are a lot of ways that we can work with our school districts to really help our future employees and selfishly find ways to keep them here as well. And if we can find ways to keep them here in the county, whether going to school or going to work, that's what we want to do.
Absolutely. All right. And you're right. That'll be a great development at IUP and for our local hospital as well.
Absolutely.
Working in conjunction with them.
Good partnerships there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Very good. Mark, thanks so much.
Thanks, Todd.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Fox News is coming up next at the top of the hour. Right after that, this morning, we're going to be talking with a gentleman. Oh, I got to get the right thing here. Hang on. Click, Mr. Computer says. Click. We're going to be talking with the gentleman about, actually, it's a lady, about AI and their potential to influence our elections. That's not a good thing, but we'll find out from Raven Harrison, her thoughts on that potential. It is the voice of Indiana County, and it is WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Indiana in the Morning, always presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Time to be first. Member FDIC.